I'm obsessed with the game Floatopia. And I already spent 45 hours researching and editing a first video that I'm going to link somewhere about everything we know so far in Floatopia. But while I was editing that, I found new super cool images coming from the social media in China that no one is talking about. So without further ado, let's go to another everything we know so far about Floatopia Part 2. First of all, there are 3 new NPCs. The first one is actually a character that is in the trailer and that I had not seen at first, but this guy here looks like he has an adventure look or something like that. We don't know anything about him, but it looks like it's an NPC. Then there's this other guy that we only see sideways from an image on the official X of Floatopia, and the name is Breezy. So it could be the name of the player, but if you look at the text, I think that it looks blah 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 up here on your island, so it would make sense that it's actually the name of the NPC. And then on nadianshi.com, there is a character called Tianqin, sorry for my Chinese pronunciation, who works as a salesperson at a weather company. She has a glowing circle on her head, which will broadcast the weather in real time for a period of time in the future. And the description actually looks like this character that we saw last time, that is maybe called Rene, something like that. It would make sense because she has a sun and something glow that we see her a lot, that she would be the one who works in this weather company, but it's not linked together yet. And now there's another character that we have never seen, never heard anything of. Based on the prototype of Hot-Blooded and Kingly comics, we created a boy named Li Xiaoran. His dreams is to become the strongest superpower, but his ability is just that when he is in a good mood, fire will come out of his head, which is roughly equivalent to a not very stable gas stove, which fits the setting of useless and interesting very well. Li Xiaoran looks like a boy with a comic book on his head and a middle school smile. So I don't think I've seen any depiction of him anywhere yet, but this was mentioned in this article. And then on restart.run, we learn more about Mystica and her superpower, a trait that can have a literal impact on her environment. When she gets emotional, she triggers that superpower and she can affect the temperature around her and around you if you're there as well. It seems very useless, but you can use this superpower to freeze fish or meat or something, which you can also get from the Cloud River. So this is the first time that we hear about meat. So we've seen fish in the trailer, but meat, we've seen other animals like critters. Will we also eat them? And then, this is the most interesting thing about the character creator. We see a lot more outfits and customization possible that we had never seen before. And something that is very interesting, on the official website, in English it says, your wardrobe will also offer a diverse range of charming and stylish options. The translation in Chinese says, you and the resident will also have many exquisite and cute choices for clothing. And in Japanese, you can also freely coordinate the clothing of players and residents. So that is very interesting that those clothing are not only for us, but also for dressing up the residents. I guess it makes sense, like in Animal Crossing you could do that, and also in Hello Kitty Island Adventure, but that opens a lot of cool things. In an X post by Bug247, we see 3 concept art, and actually it looks like it's been cut and it's even longer, but I have not been able to find a bigger image of that. And that's what I was trying to reproduce today, this kind of easy look. Yeah, because I'm also very passionate about fashion on my other channel and on the Hello Kitty Island Adventure channel. I have tons of videos where I try to reproduce the game, clothing and food, and if you are interested in that, I will link it up there, and I will probably also do that for Floatopia. Yeah. And if you looked at my other video before, I was trying to reproduce the kind of same look as the girl that we see all the time in the trailer. And then on news.qq, it's actually an article from TapTap that they were able to test the game, and here's what they said. There's hairstyle with non-woven, plastic, bamboo, rubber, metal, and knitted textures. Various styles of clothing included desert style, JK, I have no idea what they mean, motorcycle, and ropes. There are also small parts such as bows, wristbands, brooches, etc. Each appearance is made of its own unique material, and together with that they showed these super amazing gifs of the character creator with the face, hair, blush, and all the small accessories and all the clothing. So this is so cool to see so many new things. Which one is your favorite outfit? Please tell me in the description. Here are my few favorites. I have noticed that there is a new animal that I had not seen before, that is a red panda, apparently, that can jump on his tail. And on news.qq, all the creatures in the game have the appearance of plush toys. Rabbits, calves, and various strange fantasy animals can also be collected as pets. You can interact with them or watch them play by themselves. You can enjoy a successful life facing the sea with both cats and dogs. I had not seen any cats or dogs, I think, yet. But so many cute ones. And I also noticed that on X, on the post from Lily Schotte, you can see acorns next to the Ringo. Now let's talk about tools. On bbs.3839.com, you can see videos. And we see a slower version of something that we see in the trailer, and you can look at the tools. Apparently, to terraform, you have an axe to cut the trees and the bamboos. You have some kind of scissors, like huge scissors to cut the bushes. And you have a mini power shovel that is around your body that allows you to terraform. And apparently the big rocks, you can just pick them up. I don't know if they will appear as rock in your inventory or if they're just removed. And you have some kind of roller to create the roads, and you can see that in the trailer. And Tribe.games mentions that your character uses rocket boots to fly from island to island. And on the BBS 3839 website, we see again another video where you can see that there are 5 different types of exhaust that you can have from your rocket boots. It's money bills, gold coins, glitter music notes, confetti, or flames. Honestly, I'm not sure if all of that will be like the cosmetics that you unlock later with or without a paywall. We'll see. And then there's another video about farming, and apparently you can carry one cola can to water or distribute cola on your crops to make them grow, and then you have your vacuum that we have seen before to grab them. But that's very interesting because it looks like it's also cola that you put yourself, but is it like one at a time or something like that? And then you have the character Cola Girl that I called her, or him, that their superpower is to distribute cola everywhere. And then there's some kind of time or weather device, is not very clear, that is next to one house. I am not sure what it does, but it looks very cool. You can use a roller to lay the ground, put food on the table, and make a DIY barbecue to make hot barbecue. In terms of multiplayer interaction, there are not only ways to play the piano, couple dancing, hand-in-hand flying, and human pyramids. Now let's talk about gameplay. On news.qq, TapTap was invited to participate in offline trials and got some exclusive real game footage. You can change the terrain of any plot on the island at will. Build a mountain from flat ground, build a waterfall, build a sky garden, directly change the surface to grass, gravel. I also have the memory of only building a waterfall in the trial game for an entire afternoon. That gives me reminiscence of my days in Animal Crossing New Horizons. You don't have to work hard alone anymore. In multiplayer mode, you can invite your friends to work as slaves and build the island to your liking. More like work together rather than as slaves, I guess. This is a translation issue, let's say. Players can fly over each island hand in hand with their friends, freely adjust the exhaust effect, and cross mountains, rivers, and seas together. It doesn't consume any physical energy at all. It's definitely a good civilization in terms of experience optimization. So I guess there's no stamina or something like that for flying. That's very cool. You can even draw your own emojis and have an emoji war. Or just show it off. Don't need to have a war. The changes in weather and seasons are not just for show. Modifying the weather through the weather company will bring a completely different atmosphere. And in 4399.cn, we plan to carry out long-term updates to add islands with different themes, such as volcanic islands, ice and snow islands, and zephyr islands. I don't know what they mean. Every time the island theme is updated, they will also update the corresponding island resources and gameplay. At the same time, we will also launch interesting chapter-based plots to make the game content more colorful. There are no mandatory constraints, excessive interest, and no competitive pressure. Only love and mutual help. The game will pay more attention to the creation of atmosphere and weakens the restriction of rules and reliance on rewards. I'm wondering if there will not be like a checklist, like completion, achievements and things like that. Maybe not, we'll see. Specifically, players may pass through various small islands during their travel, where there are lively markets, quiet lakes, romantic night skies, carnival parties, etc. Now let's talk about quests. In gameguides.fr, each island offers unique gathering and quest opportunities, and careful planning of your travels is crucial to optimize resource gathering and mission completion. Quests are the core of progression, unlocking new items, materials, and recipes. Recipes are essential for crafting decorative items for the home or new clothing for the character. The ability to obtain new outfits or other customization items by completing quests enhances the immersive feel of the game and provides a sense of continuous progression. More complex quest lines and additional adventures are in development, promising to offer players new ways to immerse themselves in this floating universe. Now let's talk about the intro story. In Restart.run, I was shown a cutscene of a woman trudging drearily through her day-to-day life, someone numbed by exhausting and unfulfilling workdays. Then, an invitation to Floatopia, an island escape that, it isn't quite made clear, may exist purely in her imagination, built from the dolls she crafts in her free time. In either case, I was soon plopped into my own island in the sky, designing an adorable character for a breezy life on a land of sustained soft focus. This is interesting because actually you see that in the trailer, Joy throws away the flyers and then we're in the sky, and at the end our character drops. The view is turned and then we zoom out and we see that the house is actually in a snow globe on a table, and the floating vehicle island is also a prop on a table. So is it all just in her imagination or not? This is something that is not very clear and very interesting. On Tribe.game, Floatopia is a sort of toy box life simulation crossed with that anime trope where the protagonist is the only normal person in a world of people with superpowers, with a daylight cycle similar to Animal Crossing. In Restart.run, we realized that in today's society, there are a lot of social conflicts and economic pressure, so we want our player to escape from that world to a joyful and humorous world where the player can get healed in a leisurely journey. We hope that our players can get into their own zone, their own story, and create their own life in this world. So we have many scenarios where we show a real life scene. Is it like this? The world is ending, that is real life, and then this island in the sky is not the real life? The main message we want to convey to our players is that no matter what kind of bad things you experience during the day, you can still have a joyful day on Floatopia and to embark on a new adventure, a new journey where you can say goodbye to all bad things. On Desconsolados.com, the presentation trailer is quite crazy, and although we can see absurd things like the end of the world or similar, none of that was present in the demo I played. Maybe it comes later. This was the beginning of our new life on carefree relaxation. Floatopia will allow us to create the avatar we want with its adorable chibi style, and after that we will travel to the island. And continuing with the fantasy, we will have our own house as soon as we arrive on the island. No mortgages or anything. We can place it wherever we want and even start decorating its interior with basic furniture. Obviously, everything from that point on will not be free, having to spend the stars we have obtained while exploring the environment. The dialogues are great, with a great sense of humor and everything being so wholesome that it's even comical, but in a good way. For example, there's a lottery on our first night to get the basic furniture I mentioned before, and so we don't feel bad, they make sure we always win. The whole town knows about it and is happy for us because here our happiness and relaxation are the most important thing. Now let's talk about the development and how they recruited players for playtests. On Minded News, recently the Shanghai team of NetEase Games released a job posting for Senior Gameplay Planning, Live Simulation. And the job description states, based on your own experience, design the live simulation gameplay in the game, including but not limited to management, cultivation, collection, and exploration. Design the daily behavior of the character in the game and complete the AI system configuration. Design and implement the game's sandbox dressing gameplay and sandbox transformation mechanism and plan its related launch. The job requirement states that applicants need to have in-depth experience and unique insight into the live simulation game and business simulation game, and be a general audience of two-dimensional culture. The game may combine the AI capabilities of NetEase Games to make the NPCs in the game more intelligent and personalized. In terms of user portraits, the game may cover a wider user group such as the second dimension, simulation business, and sandbox construction. Silo Zaga, a well-known blogger on X, revealed that NetEase is developing a live simulation game called Floatopia on April 21st already. And it says that it's a live simulation gameplay similar to games such as Sky, Children of the Light, and Stardew Valley, with an art style and theme designed based on comedy anime. And that comes from a game test recruitment questionnaire released by NetEase Games on X on April 21st. And I was able to find a lot of these. The first one even comes in 2023. They have some in English, they have some in Japanese, and they actually wanted to recruit testers that have also played Animal Crossing and Stardew Valley and things like that. On Minded News, in addition to the usual question about the participants' gaming experience, the questionnaire also focused on the player's experience in playing business simulation games, including console games such as Animal Crossing New Horizons and Stardew Valley, mobile games such as Animal Crossing Pocket Camp and Sky Children of the Light, and games that emphasize social and business simulation gameplay such as The Sims, Hades, Dragon Quest Builder 2, and My Time at Porsche. And as early as March, Bug2247 broke the news that NetEase is developing a new game called Codename The Island. Normally the name in Chinese is called Codename Strange Journey, and there you can see this vehicle and the sketches that we mentioned before. And on nadianshi.com, after 2 years of secret research and development, and then it's an interview. The game is now about 65% complete, I guess percent they mean, and that was on August 21st. Our main plan is to speed up the content progress, improve the quality, and strive to start a large-scale testing next year. The company has high expectation for Codename Strange Journey. We were listed as a key project at a very early stage. We also invested a lot of money and manpower in the subsequent development process and the first public stage. The goal of the game has always been clear, which is to become a family-friendly game with a large daily active users, a work dedicated to players of all ages, all genders, and from diverse cultural backgrounds. We chose to debut at the Cologne game show, Gamescom, because we hope that through this international platform, players around the world will get to know us and the game codename Strange Journey. This game has a relaxed, happy, and healing tone and temperament like childhood summer vacation. This is the core cornerstone of the game. It was designed from the beginning and will not be shaken. And on the interview, let's talk specifically about the gameplay iteration part. We have mainly gone through 2 stages of thinking. The first stage is to gradually calibrate the core emotion experience we want. For example, there is an early version of the idea that in a miniature bonsai world, there is a group of ceramic people who run a small business together, living a life that is sometimes chaotic but generally relaxed and happy. Later, we conducted some player interviews based on this version. Their initial feedback far exceeded our expectations, making us feel internally that this game could become a large-scale global product because the need for stress relief and healing is common to everyone. At the same time, players gave feedback and suggestions saying that the game in that version was too business-oriented and hoped that the pressure would be less and more lifelike. Therefore, we adjusted the core gameplay and background packaging, weakens the sense of pressure, and added some elements and temperaments that are closer to the real life of today's young players. The second stage is to gradually improve and expand the gameplay framework to the live simulation experience. One of the more important gameplay breakthroughs during this period was that we were inspired by the concept of RV travel and decided to let the player's island float in the clouds, allowing them to enjoy life while roaming the world. Because the experience scenes of similar games are fixed in the same place, we chose to let the player's island float around, expanding the experience into a journey. They can lie down and relax without pressure on the island, and by floating around the island they can have some expectation of living on the road. What new scenery will I see tomorrow? In terms of scene design, we explore and use toy-like design language to create many interesting packages, such as a house made of milk cartons, an administrative center made of gift boxes, a store shaped like a candy machine, etc. And on 4399.cn, the challenge is that everyone's imagination of the fantasy world is not exactly the same. We once designed a character whose superpower was to influence the weather through emotions. This setting is very creative, but on the other hand, this ability is a bit too powerful and does not conform to the unified world of superpowers are useless but interesting. After a discussion, we made some restriction on this character ability. He cannot directly change the weather, but he can change the surrounding temperature and freeze himself. This setting is obviously more reasonable, and I think they're talking about Mystica. We will summarize those very important consensuses and record them in a manual similar to the Fantasy World Design Guide. We plan to organize these contents into a setting collection after the game is launched as a commemoration of their hard work and creativity along the way. And then they said, it is planned to conduct multiple rounds of testing before going online. I hope that I can be in these testers rounds. I don't know what I will have to do, but I will try my best. On tribe.games, most of my final day of Gamescom was spent with the folks at NetEase, where I spent 40 extremely enjoyable and relaxing minutes of fun with Floatopia. So this person got to play 40 minutes and the other ones were 30 minutes, I think. And then on nadianshi.com, we learn a lot about the AI of the characters, and it looks so interesting. What we think is really interesting and what we have invested a lot of energy in is the sense of real-life companionship created by relying on AI technology. To give a relatively intuitive example, the residents will observe the players and then take the initiative to do some very sensible and heartwarming things. For example, when it rains, someone will take the initiative to give the player an umbrella. When the players are farming, the NPCs will help them hoe the fields and harvest the vegetables. When it is dark at night, the neighbors will come over with lanterns to illuminate. Even if the players are sitting on a bench and daydreaming, they will come over to accompany them to relax. To give another long-term example, our AI technology can simulate the emotion and memories of NPCs. For example, if a player often disturbs a neighbor at night, he will find that he goes to bed later and wakes up later, gradually becoming a night owl. The principle here is that the emotional fluctuation of the residents will cause them to have memories, and the deepening memories will affect their living habits. Due to the plasticity of AI, each player can even slowly cultivate personalized residents that suit them. This is so interesting. For example, I remember a friend of mine had her Switch always 2 hours earlier than in real life because she could only play at night and the stores will be closed and she could never enjoy that. So she had to accommodate the environment for that, but now apparently it's the environment to accommodate to your playstyle, and that is very, very interesting and innovative. Then I want to analyze a few images that I have seen online. First of all, I noticed that the banner at Gamescom has a different character than Pandy in the official game art. And I'm not sure that it's an NPC, and it might actually be a player character. And then by looking at images from Google, I found those images that said that they come from the official website, but they're not visible on the official website. And they look like concept art. And you can see mostly two characters. One is our cola girl, and the other one is a character with a duck hat. And it looks like this is more a player character than an NPC. And you can see they're playing minigames. There are some kind of UFO catchers to catch stars. And there's also some kind of fishing game, and that you can see 2 versions of that. And on the side of some of the images, you can see this SNPP-AAJG-2FG 2020. I am really not sure what this means, and I could not find an acronym that worked for that. And this is also the thing that is in big on the side of the floating island. I'm really not sure what is it. And does 2020 means that this is when they started doing the concept art, but also they said they only worked on for 2 years. And also, if you look at one of the image, there's some kind of snow monster Yeti fridge, and inside of that there's like products, and you can clearly see that there's gibberish text that has clearly been made by an AI. Clearly they have been using AI for making these concept arts. So maybe that's also why there are 2 concepts of the same game, maybe. But those generative AIs were not there 4 years ago, definitely. And I'm not even sure, like 2 years ago. And you can also see there's a flying bug, a flying cow, and a flying dog. So maybe that's why they said cats and dogs. And this bubble tree wind turbine thing. And it's actually the same image that you see in a quest in the menu with the map from Team Bro that I showed back in the days, but now we have the big thing. That's so interesting. And now I want to talk about some fan art that I discovered. This guy who is making felt art made an amazing representation of the flying island. The details are insane. You have to look at the whole video because it's gorgeous. Obviously, all the articles and the videos will be linked in the description, so you can go see the full thing by yourself. And now I want to talk about the translation and text in other languages. On restart.run, small touches of wry humor were dotted throughout the cutscenes and writing in the snippets of gameplay I tried. Each element was conveyed with impressive timing and delivery. As anyone who's watched their share of dubbed show will attest, that's no simple feat to achieve across multiple languages. And it's an area the Floatopia team is giving particular focus. Our team are not native English speakers, so there are many cultural gaps they faced in the developing stage. We have 2 methods of improving the development at the language level. First of all, we have very immersive research on the cultural gaps. We have team members from Japan, from America, who provided us enormous help. Secondly, we have a very professional translator team. We have many rounds of interviews so we can find the right translator for that specific language. The team is also running playtests to gather feedback from international audiences, ensuring that they understood jokes and felt they landed appropriately. My short session was enough to show that the developers clearly have a lot of love for the genre and are eager to stir their own mix of dry and mildly dark humor into the cozy cake. Our thanks to Anne Pang, the NetEase team, and their translators for taking the time to speak with us about Floatopia. So I guess apparently the 2 developers that people were talking to at NetEase did not even speak English, and they had translators, or they're talking about the translators in the game in general, I'm not sure. Then in the Nadianshi article, we learn more about their free-to-play plans. We hope to allow players around the world to experience this product with a low threshold, so it is a free game on all platforms. At the same time, we also hope that the overall atmosphere is relaxing and healing, so there is no combat and confrontational gameplay, and there will definitely not be a lot of payment pressure to attract players. The main payment points currently under considerations are mainly decorative and companion content, such as appearance, furniture, and resident companions. Maybe like pets or things like that, which will not affect the gameplay values and not encourage comparison between players. They said appearance, furniture, and resident companion. Honestly, in that kind of game, like the appearance, the clothing, most of it, is what encourages comparison between players. I feel that you are always judged by the clothes you wear in a game. If you are late game, you have many cool clothing, and it's visible from the start if you have only the free clothing. So I'm not sure if they really understand the genre there. And then on NetEaseGames.com news, there's an article that said NetEase Game returns to Gamescom with its strongest lineup of anticipated titles. So it was published on July 17th. And they said, NetEase announced today its participation at the world's biggest game show, Gamescom, for the second time. And then they said, the booth will feature Marvel Rivals, Fragpunk, Once Human, Shadows of the Damned Hella remasters, and 2 brand new and unannounced titles to be sampled, so look forward to those. So this is so interesting that Floatopia, maybe because they had not said anything before, they did not want to give the name there because it was not known yet. And then it says, please get in touch to arrange an appointment and look out for NetEase Games content in Gamescom Opening Night Live to learn about our unannounced title and some other surprises on August 20th. And then something interesting is that for European media appointments, please contact Premier Communication. And during Gamescom, Chris Wall mentioned that there's an extremely rare, highly coveted, previously thought humanly unattainable slot with Floatopia that opened, and that you should contact Premier's Com if you want to have it. So that's so interesting because apparently this game was unannounced, but a lot of people were super excited to try and play this game, which is really interesting. And my last part is on Min.news about how the Chinese market have received the news about Floatopia. The PV of Codename Strange Journey showed a strong global art style that impressed many people. It is expected that this game will become another key new work of NetEase in the future. Judging from feedback from players and the industry, the art quality of Codename Strange Journey far exceeds expectations, and its overall progress is also relatively advanced. It has the opportunity to gain the upper hand when big companies concentrate on entering the simulation track. And in another article, according to the Bilibili PV comments, players are looking forward to Codename Strange Journey and give positive comments on the art and character design. The game also has quickly been included in the to-play list of domestic business player. So I had to make this second part because I found all these new super cool things by falling in another rabbit hole of the Chinese social media. And if you have not seen the first part where I explain so many other discoveries that I found that was not talked about, click on this video over here and I will put all the other videos about Floatopia in the playlist over there. See you there. Bye bye!